Well, so it's interesting because there's a difference between believing in global warming and a global warming threat. So when you say threat, what does that mean? I mean, that means something that is likely to destroy something that you think is valuable. Now, for me, if I were to see a climate threat, for me, that would be something primarily that's killing more and more people. So if we saw, well, global warming is leading to more and more deaths from climate-related disasters like heat waves and storms and floods and drought, that would be really distressing. You would still have benefits of fossil fuels that you would have to weigh. But what's fascinating, what I learned in 2007 and really changed my life, is that we're actually getting far safer from climate. So we actually don't face a climate threat, or at least so far there hasn't been a climate threat. There's been a massive improvement in how safe we are from climate. We have pretty good data on this over the last 100 years, and they measure how many people die of climate-related disasters, like storms and floods and heat. And people have no idea usually, but these are down by 98% over the last 100 years. So you think about that. You are 1/50th as likely, and this is globally, right? It's not just the wealthy world. You're 1/50th as likely to die from a climate-related disaster as you would have been 100 years ago. So this is an area where life has improved. And so there's this question of why do we view it as so bad, given that it's improved? And I think it actually comes down to philosophy. I think some people are looking at the climate from the perspective of it's evil of us to have any impact at all, and they think it's just wrong, even if we're safer from it. Whereas my perspective is I think human impact is often good, is usually good, as long as the overall effect on human life is positive. So I think we've contributed to being 1 degree warmer in the last 170 years by burning fossil fuels. But the fossil fuels, the benefits have made life better, including they've made us safer from climate. So now we have the ability to make it cooler when it's hot. So you take people in India with air conditioning, they're much more comfortable in the climate, even if it's 1 degree warmer, right? Because they have air conditioning. And by the way, cold is still a much greater killer than heat. Even in India, cold kills more than heat, let alone, the Northeast United States or something like that. So my view is people aren't looking at climate and the world from a really pro-human perspective. They're looking at it from the perspective of our impact is evil and we should eliminate it. And that I think is the core thing. I think the leaders of the climate anti-fossil fuel movement are anti-human impact, and there's a hostility toward development. And I think if we recognize this, the less developed places should be very afraid of this movement, because I believe this movement doesn't want Africa to develop, and they think it was bad that the rest of the world did develop.